There is something happening inside your legs right now that most people over 60 never talk about, and almost no one warns you about until it is too late. It starts quietly. Maybe you notice that climbing the stairs takes a little more effort than it used to. Maybe your legs feel heavier by the afternoon, or you reach for the wall when you stand up too fast. You tell yourself it is just age. You tell yourself everyone goes through this, but here is what nobody is telling you. What you eat for breakfast every single morning is either slowing this process down or speeding it up. And once you understand which foods are doing which, everything changes. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to put on your plate tomorrow morning to start rebuilding the strength, circulation, and energy your legs have been quietly losing for years. And if you stay until the very end, there is one final detail about how these three foods work together that most people never hear about, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. Before we get into the three breakfasts, you need to understand what is actually going on inside the body after 60, because once you see the full picture, the solutions will make complete sense. The process has a name. It is called sarcopenia, and it is the gradual breakdown of muscle tissue that begins accelerating in the 6th decade of life. But sarcopenia does not happen in isolation. It is not just your muscles getting smaller. It is a chain reaction. Circulation slows down, which means less oxygen and fewer nutrients are reaching your leg muscles. Hormonal changes reduce the body's ability to build and maintain muscle mass. Chronic low-level inflammation quietly attacks muscle fibers over months and years, breaking them down faster than the body can repair them. Joints stiffen, balance becomes unreliable, and what started as mild leg fatigue gradually becomes something that limits your independence in your daily life. The dangerous part is that most people try to treat these symptoms separately. A prescription for one thing, a supplement for another, physical therapy for something else. But the real power comes when you address these causes all at once. And that is exactly what the right breakfast can do. Whole foods carry compounds that work across multiple body systems simultaneously. They ease inflammation, support blood vessel flexibility, protect muscle cells, and improve how efficiently the body produces and uses energy. And the best part is that these foods are not exotic or expensive. They are sitting in grocery stores everywhere, waiting to be used the right way. The first breakfast we are going to talk about is built around a vegetable that most people either love or have never thought to eat before noon: beetroot. And before you skip ahead, give this a chance, because what this humble root vegetable does inside your blood vessels and leg muscles is genuinely remarkable. Most people think of beets as something you throw in a salad or blend into a juice, but when beetroot becomes a regular part of your morning meal, it sets off a chain of events in the body that directly targets the kind of circulatory sluggishness that makes legs feel heavy, tired, and weak. Here is how it works. Beetroot is naturally rich in nitrates, compounds that the body converts into nitric oxide once they enter the bloodstream. Nitric oxide acts as a vasodilator, which simply means it relaxes and widens the blood vessels. When blood vessels are wider and more flexible, blood flows more freely. More blood means more oxygen. More oxygen means more fuel delivered directly to your leg muscles. And for older adults, this matters enormously, because poor circulation is often the invisible reason why legs feel constantly drained, cramped, and difficult to move. Think about what it feels like to walk with legs that are starved of circulation. Every step takes more effort than it should. Your legs feel like they are full of sand. You tire out faster than your mind wants to, and recovering from even a short walk takes longer than it used to. That is not weakness in the traditional sense. That is your muscles not getting what they need because the delivery system, your blood vessels, has become less efficient over time. Beetroot directly addresses that delivery system, and the effects are not just theoretical. People who make beetroot a daily morning habit consistently report that their legs feel lighter, that they can walk further before tiring, and that the uncomfortable heaviness that had become normal begins to lift. It does not happen overnight, but within a week or two of consistent use, many people begin to notice a real difference. And here is something worth holding on to. The heaviness you feel in your legs is not just a minor discomfort. Left unaddressed, it is a warning. It means your muscles are not being properly nourished, and that gap over time is what leads to the kind of decline that takes away independence. The good news is that what you do next, starting tomorrow morning, can begin to close that gap, but the circulatory benefits are only half the story. Beetroot also contains a group of compounds called betalains, which are among the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory agents found in any food. And this matters because inflammation is both a symptom and a cause of muscle decline. When inflammation is high, it speeds up the breakdown of muscle tissue, stiffens joints, and makes even gentle movement painful. Betalains fight this inflammation by acting as antioxidants, neutralizing the harmful free radicals that damage cells and trigger immune responses that attack the body's own tissues. When that inflammatory cycle is interrupted, the joints move more freely, muscle fibers are better protected from damage, and the body recovers more efficiently after activity. For someone over 60, this can mean the difference between dreading a morning walk and actually looking forward to one. Now here is where it gets even more interesting, because beetroot does not have to work alone. When you combine it with avocado, the benefits multiply in a way that neither food could achieve on its own. Avocado improves cholesterol balance, reduces stiffness in the arterial walls, and keeps blood vessels flexible so blood can flow through them without resistance. Beetroot opens the vessels and drives circulation. Avocado keeps those vessels healthy enough to function at their best. One improves the flow and the other maintains the roads. Together, they create a circulatory environment where leg muscles are consistently receiving what they need to repair, rebuild, and perform. And one more ingredient ties the whole thing together: lemon juice. A small squeeze of fresh lemon juice over your beetroot does something important. It protects the nitric oxide that beetroot produces because without enough vitamin C present, nitric oxide degrades faster in the body and loses much of its effectiveness. Lemon juice preserves it. It also helps the body absorb the iron and minerals in beetroot more efficiently, which supports healthy blood and better oxygen carrying capacity throughout the day. Here's how to make this breakfast tomorrow morning. Take a slice of whole grain bread and toast it until warm. Mash a ripe avocado with a generous squeeze of fresh lemon juice until it is smooth and creamy, and spread it thickly over the toast. Layer thin slices of roasted beetroot on top, sprinkle with a pinch of sea salt, a little black pepper, and some lemon zest. That is it. It is simple, colorful, filling, and it starts working on your circulation from the very first morning. If something more substantial, try a power bowl instead. Dice roasted beetroot and combine it with chunks of fresh avocado, orange segments, a splash of lemon juice, and a drizzle of olive oil. Lay it over a bed of fresh spinach or arugula. The earthy sweetness of the beets, the creaminess of the avocado, and the brightness of the citrus create something that genuinely feels like a treat while quietly doing serious work inside your body. The key, as with everything we will discuss today, is consistency. One breakfast will not transform your legs, but daily use, week after week, creates gradual and lasting change. Strength fades slowly, and in the same way, it is rebuilt slowly through steady, deliberate choices made one morning at a time. Now keep watching, because the second breakfast targets a problem that is even more widespread among people over 60, and most of them have no idea it is happening to them. Now let us talk about something that affects far more seniors than most people realize, and that almost never gets connected to leg strength and mobility. Fatigue, not the kind of tiredness that goes away after a good night's sleep, the kind that is already there when you open your eyes in the morning, the kind that makes a short walk feel like an expedition, the kind that slowly shrinks your world because everything just takes so much more out of you than it used to. Many older adults assume this is simply what aging feels like, that the energy of younger years is just gone and is not coming back. But that assumption may be costing them years of vitality they do not have to give up. because this kind of deep, persistent fatigue often has a specific cause, and that cause can be directly addressed through what you eat at breakfast. The second breakfast is built around blueberries and Greek yogurt, and this combination works on the fatigue problem at the cellular level in a way that very few foods can match. Let us start with blueberries. These small, unassuming berries are packed with flavonoids, plant compounds that have a direct effect on the flexibility and responsiveness of blood vessel walls. When blood vessel walls are more flexible, blood flows more easily throughout the body, including to the muscles in your legs. But the deeper mechanism is even more impressive. Blueberries contain polyphenols that have been shown in studies to support and stimulate mitochondria, the tiny energy-producing structures inside every cell in your body. As we age, mitochondrial efficiency declines. The cells become less able to produce energy, even when the body is being given adequate nutrition. Muscles that are low on mitochondrial energy feel heavy and weak, not because they have lost mass, but because they have lost their internal power supply. Blueberry polyphenols may help reverse this decline by protecting mitochondria from free radical damage and even stimulating the creation of new mitochondria in muscle and brain cells. More mitochondria means more energy capacity. More energy capacity means muscles that can do more, recover faster, and resist fatigue longer. And there is a dimension here that often gets overlooked entirely: mental energy. When people feel mentally drained or foggy, they move less. And when they move less, legs grow weaker. The connection between cognitive energy and physical activity is real and direct. Blueberries have been studied for their effects on brain circulation and cognitive performance, and the same polyphenols that protect muscle cells also protect neurons and improve blood flow to the brain. When someone starts adding blueberries to their morning routine, one of the first things many people notice is not stronger legs. It is a clearer head, more focus, more motivation to get up and move. And that mental shift, that restoration of drive, is often what makes the physical changes possible in the first place, because a body that wants to move is one that will eventually grow stronger. That motivation alone, the feeling of wanting to be active rather than dreading it, can be one of the most powerful signals that something has genuinely shifted inside the body. Now, let us add Greek yogurt into the picture, because this is where the combination becomes truly powerful. Greek yogurt contains two minerals that play an essential and direct role in leg muscle health: potassium and calcium. Potassium helps relax the walls of blood vessels, which improves circulation and reduces the tendency for muscles to cramp. And leg cramps in seniors are not just painful inconveniences. They are a significant contributor to falls, and falls can have catastrophic consequences, including spinal injuries that lead to permanent loss of mobility. By helping prevent cramping through adequate potassium and calcium intake, Greek yogurt protects the legs in a way that is both immediate and genuinely important for long-term safety. Calcium supports the contraction mechanism of muscle fibers, ensuring that the legs can generate force reliably and steadily rather than giving out unexpectedly. Greek yogurt also contains probiotics, the beneficial bacteria that support gut health, and the connection between gut health and inflammation is something researchers have been exploring with growing excitement. A healthier gut microbiome is associated with lower levels of systemic inflammation throughout the body, including in the blood vessels that supply the legs. When inflammation in the vascular system is reduced, blood flows more freely, vessel walls become less stiff, and the muscles they supply receive better oxygen and nutrient delivery. The yogurt works on inflammation from the inside out, using the gut as a starting point to calm a response that affects the entire body. And when you combine that with the antioxidant power of blueberries working from outside the cells, you are attacking inflammation from two directions simultaneously. That is a meaningful and measurable benefit. Tomorrow morning, try this. Spoon a generous serving of plain Greek yogurt into a bowl. Layer fresh blueberries on top, add a drizzle of honey, a handful of granola, and a sprinkle of chia seeds. The result is a parfait that feels indulgent, but is quietly doing serious work in your blood vessels, your gut, your mitochondria, and your muscle cells all at once. If you want something more filling, build a power bowl instead. Start with the Greek yogurt as your base. Add a mountain of blueberries, a few orange slices for extra vitamin C and flavor, a scatter of almonds and walnuts for healthy fats and additional protein, and finish with a light squeeze of lemon. It is vibrant, satisfying, and loaded with exactly what aging legs need. The first few days, you may not notice much, but give it 2 to 3 weeks, and pay attention to how your mornings feel, the heaviness in your legs when you first get up, the amount of effort it takes to walk to the kitchen, to get through the morning, to feel ready to face the day. These are the things that quietly change when the right foods are given consistently to a body that is ready to respond. Now, here is where everything gets taken to another level entirely, because the first 2 breakfasts address circulation and energy, and they do it beautifully. But there is a deeper layer to muscle decline that most people never think about: stress, poor sleep, and nerve fatigue. And unless those are addressed, the legs cannot fully recover, no matter how good the rest of the diet is. Think about what happens when someone is under chronic stress and not sleeping well. The body produces elevated levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol, when chronically high, actively breaks down muscle tissue. It interferes with the body's ability to build and repair muscle, disrupts hormonal balance, and keeps the nervous system in a state of low-level alarm that makes genuine rest impossible. And without genuine rest, the muscles cannot do the repair work they are designed to do at night. Muscles do not rebuild while you are walking around during the day. They rebuild during deep sleep when growth hormone is released and tissues are restored. If sleep is shallow, fragmented, or too short, that repair cycle is disrupted, and no amount of good nutrition during the day can fully compensate for what is lost at night. Stay with me, because the third breakfast we are about to discuss is the only one that directly fixes this hidden problem. And for many people over 60, it is the missing piece that makes everything else finally start working. This is exactly why the third breakfast is so important, and why it has such a different kind of impact than the first 2. Salmon for breakfast may sound unusual, but the evidence behind it is compelling, and the results that people experience when they make it a consistent habit are genuinely impressive. Salmon is one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, the healthy fats that are now recognized as among the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds available to the human body. Omega-3s reduce inflammation in the blood vessels, keeping them elastic and preventing the kind of stiffening that restricts blood flow to the legs. They lower triglycerides, improve the overall lipid profile of the blood, and reduce the tendency for vessels to become blocked or narrowed. For someone whose legs have been feeling chronically heavy and poorly supplied, the circulatory improvement that comes from regular salmon consumption is often one of the most noticeable changes they experience. But what makes salmon truly remarkable for aging legs is what it does in combination with its other nutrients. Salmon is one of the best dietary sources of B vitamins, particularly B12, which is essential for energy metabolism and for the production of red blood cells. Red blood cells are the vehicles that carry oxygen through the bloodstream. If there are not enough of them, or if they are not functioning well, muscles are starved of oxygen even when the heart is pumping normally and the blood vessels are open. B12 deficiency is extremely common in adults over 60 because the ability to absorb this vitamin from food decreases significantly with age, and the consequences of low B12 go far beyond low energy, weakness, poor balance, difficulty walking steadily, memory lapses, and a general sense of physical fragility are all associated with inadequate B12 levels. Salmon is also one of the most concentrated dietary sources of vitamin D, a nutrient that plays a critical role in muscle function, bone density, immune regulation, and mood. Vitamin D deficiency is extraordinarily common among older adults, particularly those who spend less time outdoors or live in climates with limited sunlight. Without adequate vitamin D, muscles cannot contract with their full strength. Bones lose density that supports the skeletal structure the legs depend on, and the mood disruptions that often accompany deficiency can reduce motivation to stay active. A single serving of salmon provides a meaningful amount of vitamin D that supplements what the body may be unable to produce on its own. And when vitamin D levels begin to rise, the effects ripple outward in ways that are hard to predict but easy to feel. Muscles feel more responsive. Balance improves. The simple act of walking feels more natural and less effortful. For many older adults, this shift happens quietly over a few weeks and is only noticed in retrospect